it was very inspiring to hear every artist, and I could relate to a number of them, especially when it's about the process, when it's about the inspiration, when it's about the mandala, when it's about the materials, when it's about life experience, how it impacts our decisions. As to me, and probably all of us, art is a physical representation of our emotions, of our inner world. And in this case, for that specific piece that I finished very recently between Christmas and New Year's Eve, what I want to share about is that it's a very simple, flat, square sheet of metal. How simple can it be? Like, it's very much a 2x2 flat sheet of metal, of steel. And that's something recurring to my work, is that I like to start with a very simple process, a simple idea, and get to a result that technically anybody could do, except that like, it takes a lot of work to do it. But anyway, and to transport, and to clean, and to polish, and to everything. But the concept is simple. So it's a flat square that it's an echo of my metal work, where I like to surprise myself in the process, like I would not say a lonely child because I have 2 younger siblings, but very much like that, where I start with a flat piece of metal. I draw on it with a quick sketch of what direction I want to go to, because movement to me is important. So a quick sketch, and then I get into the work, and and I go into a dream mode of drawing the shapes and thinking, feeling the metal, how it needs to be organized to move. So it's almost like a mind-bending game of thinking, how thick does it need to be, because then I need to cut it, then it needs to support itself, then how is it going to be organized? So I have this big guessing game that I need to do, and I get to draw, that I used to do like all my life, drawing, and I get to stretch some curves, which I think is always the key part in art, is to have a good curve before anything, a good line, and how things are going to be organized, and I try to guess how it will look like, and I draw everything. Then, after the step of the drawing, I get into the welding gear, which means samurai clothes, mask, breathing, feel like you protect yourself completely. The gloves, the leather, I have a hard time finding women's size gloves, so I feel like a kid as well for that, because my gloves are like huge and you cannot really do much with it. But still, so then I'm walking as if I'm going to walk on the moon with this equipment, and I use a tool called the plasma, which usually is used for cutting a square sheet of metal, and that's about it in the metal shop, except that I like to use it to go into very intricate drawings. And I had the chance of using the tools or the space of some metal shops, including in Europe, where I'm from, and the workers around me would look at me and almost like wanted to warn me that I could not do that type of drawing with that tool. But then I would do it, but do it in a meditation mode. And you need to have like almost no one around. You need to go to the ladies' room before. You need to do everything you need. And even when you cut it, the metal might probably shift at some point because of the weight movement. So this is like that meditation pleasure that is so not current these days, because now it's all about instant gratification, and artists with lots of assistants, and everybody is like, or not everybody, but like most of the known artists at their atelier and 300 assistants polishing. So I'm doing the opposite. I'm more like in tune with maybe the Tibetan saints, mandalas, or all these sculptures and all these lives spent doing very tedious, some people could say useless activities, and that fills my heart with joy of doing it. So eventually everything is cut, and then I get to the point of unfolding it. And just for information, because it's a very thin metal, there is very little chance for mistakes. Because if you cut on the wrong part, a full sheet of metal or a full part of the metal might fall down, and then you cannot re-weld it. Or you make a mistake, it's not going to unfold. So this is part of the game. So it's a very complicated game that I create for myself in order to probably stop thinking about reality and normal life, and that's, you know, like the rest. So I'm immersed in my moments, doing that, and I am in the universe. I'm opening, and I'm seeing what's happening, and this is a moment, maybe like giving birth. I don't know yet, maybe I will never know, but I'm giving birth regularly to pieces like this one. Always saying never again, but always going back to it. That's some of the characteristic things, I believe. And opening it, I still get the surprise of what happens, because here, for example, that shape, I had no idea that it would actually open this way and get this three-dimensional, like, amazing piece that I would not have even dared drawing. So it's as if I'm playing chess against myself, or having maybe like some kind of artistic schizophrenia for a minute. But I love it. So it's a way of creating something that I immerse myself into, like the time of the process, and that I find a great joy in looking at once it's over. So that's what I want to say about the process. About the inspiration, I would say I like what is universal, again, to all the cultures. It doesn't have to be called art. It can be, again, the Tibetan mandalas. It can be what I like that could be from maybe a place in time in Asia, in China, could be maybe in Japan, could be the discovery of steel, could be people maybe back in time like really cut it with like a little blade. I have no idea, but I feel connected by that process to our humanity and to our like long time history of something authentic. When indeed I do spend way too much time on the computer, I know I need to spend more time doing whatever promotion or whatever. But still, this is for me what is really the human part of my life. And connecting with people who can find that echo in their own subconscious mind, in our own like roots, in our DNA, and that's what I'm presenting today. If they have
you didn't add on, and so that was flat, and you just made the designs and folded it down.
Absolutely. So technically, with a hammer, you can like just hammer everything back into a square.
Wow.
And I invite you to do it mentally. Please. That should be enough.
So it's 2 by 2, 2 feet by 2 feet.
Yes.
How long does it take? Long time?
Yeah, it's a difficult question, as you know.
Yeah.
It's difficult, and also I've been developing this process I've been doing metal work for about 9-10 years, and I've been doing this process for about 7 years. So I would say that plasma became a weapon for metal work. But I invite anybody to try it. It's fun, but it's difficult.